times. But anyway, we are in time.
Yeah.
It's just 8 o'clock now, so we can start.
Okay.
And Shashwin is also here. So Shashwin, are you able to do the Mangalacharan for us? Shashwin, you have to unmute.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मायं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुन् श्रीयुतापतकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातम् सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं सात्वेदं स्वावधूतं परिजनासाहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुष्टुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Shashwin, for reciting the wonderful Mangalacharan. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Please accept our humble obeisances on behalf of everybody who have joined the group and are about to join.
Mine. All
We are reading. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 2, Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is the process of creation, and the text for today is text 3 to 4. Would you like us to read the text or anything?
I'll read the text and the purport.
Okay, thank you.
There's a lot of Sanskrit quoted in the purport, and I may just skip through that and just read the translations. Okay. A reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 4, Text 3 to 4, Process of Creation. Praprachachimam evartam yanmam prichata sattamaha Krishnanu bhavashavane shradadano mahamanaha Samstam vigyana sanyasya karmatrai varikam chayat Vasudeve bhagavati atmabhavam dridam gataha. Translation. O great sages, the great soul Maharaj Parikshit, constantly wrapped in thought of Lord Krishna, knowing well of his imminent death, renounced all sorts of fruitive activities, namely acts of religion, economic development, and sense gratification, and thus fixed himself firmly in his natural love for Krishna, and asked all these questions exactly as you are asking me. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The three activities of religion, economic development, and sense gratification are generally attractive for conditioned souls struggling for existence in the material world. Such regulated activities prescribed in the Vedas are called the Karma Kandya conception of life, and householders are generally recommended to follow the rules just to enjoy material prosperity, both in this life and in the next. Most people are attracted by such activities, even the activities of their modern, godless civilization. People are more concerned with economic development and sense gratification without any religious sentiments. As a great emperor of the world, Maharaj Pariksit had to observe such regulations of the Vedic Karma Kandya section, but by his slight association with Shukadeva Goswami, he could perfectly understand that Lord Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead Vasudeva, for whom he had a natural love since his birth, is everything. And thus he firmly fixed his mind firmly on him, renouncing all modes of Vedic Karma Kandya activities. This perfectional state is attained by a jnani after many, many births. The jnanis, or the empiric philosophers, endeavoring for liberation are thousands of times better than the fruitive workers. And out of hundreds of thousands of such jnanis, one is liberated factually. And out of hundreds of thousands of such liberated persons, even one person is rarely found who can firmly fix his mind onto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, as declared by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita 7:19. Maharaj Pariksit is specially qualified with the word Mahamanaha, which puts him on an equal level with the Mahatmas described in Bhagavad Gita. In the later age also, there have been many Mahatmas of this type, and they also gave up all Karma Kandya conceptions of life, solely and wholly depending on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Lord Chaitanya, who is the Lord himself, taught us in his Shikshastika, Ashli Savapadam Ritam Pinashtu Mam Adarshanam Mamahatam Kurotu Va Yatatata Vidatadu Lampato Matpranatastu Saevana Pada. Lord Krishna, who is the lover of many devotees, women, may embrace this fully surrendered maidservant, or may trample me with his feet, or he may render me broken-hearted by not being present before me for a long duration of time. But still, he is nothing less than the absolute Lord of my heart. Srila Rupa Goswami spoke thus, translation, O Lord of the poor, do what you like with me. Give me either mercy or punishment, but in this world I have none to look to except your lordship. The chatak bird always prays for the cloud, regardless of whether it showers rain or throws a thunderbolt. Srila Madhavendra Puri, the grand spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya, took leave of all Karma Kandya obligations in the following words, translation. O my evening prayer, all good unto you. O my morning bath, I bid you goodbye. O demigods and forefathers, please excuse me. I am unable to perform any more offerings for your pleasure. Now I have decided to free myself from all reactions to sins simply by remembering anywhere and everywhere the great descendants of Yadu and the great enemy of Kamsa, Lord Krishna. I think that this is sufficient for me. So what is the use of further endeavors? Srila Madhavendra Puri said further, translation, let the sharp moralist accuse me of being illusioned. I do not mind. Experts in Vedic activities may slander me as being misled. Friends and relatives may call me frustrated. My brothers may call me a fool. The wealthy Mamamites may point me out as mad. And the learned philosophers may assert that I am much too proud. Still, my mind does not budge an inch from the determination to serve the lotus feet of Govinda, though I am unable to do it. Also, Prahlad Maharaj said, translation, religion, economic development, and sense gratification are celebrated as three means of attaining the path of liberation. Of these, ikshatrayi especially, that is knowledge of the self, knowledge of fruit of acts, and knowledge and logic, and also politics and economics, are different means of livelihood. All those are different subjects of Vedic education, and therefore I consider them temporary engagements. On the other hand, surrendering unto the Supreme Lord Vishnu is a factual gain in life, and I consider it the ultimate truth. The whole matter is concluded in Bhagavad Gita 2.41 as Vyasa Makika Buddhi, or the absolute path of perfection. Sri Baladev Vijabhushan, a great Vaishnav scholar, defines this as Bhavat Archana Rupaike Nishkama, Karma Bir Visuddha Chittaha, accepting transcendental loving service to the Lord as the prime duty, free from fruit of reaction. So Maharaj Parikshit was perfectly right when he accepted the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, renouncing all karma kandya conceptions of life. Well, Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganangana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So it's interesting in Prabhupada's purport in the first paragraph, Prabhupada is saying, the three activities of religion, economic development, and sense gratification are generally attractive for conditioned souls struggling for existence in the material world. Such regulated activities prescribed in the Vedas are called karma kandya, and householders are generally recommended to follow the rules just to enjoy material prosperity, both in this life and the next. So this is interesting. It's generally recommended in the Vedas. So then how do we get to the point of basically giving up these activities? They are recommended. And all civilized human beings should be endeavoring in these activities because they're the basis of civilization. Religion, economic development, and sense gratification. Without these three, society simply doesn't function. So Prabhupada goes on to say, most people are attracted by such activities. Even in the activities of modern godless civilization, people are more concerned with economic development and sense gratification without any religious sentiments. This is the problem. And it's even, we go beyond the religion even. As devotees, as Vaishnavas, we aspire to go beyond the religion. We don't concern ourselves with Hindu, Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, Jew, whatever the case may be. This is beyond. Devotional service is beyond all these conceptions. Maybe a fact that we're born into this particular society or culture or whatever, but we're intrinsically, eternally Satchitanand. So we don't belong in any particular category of culture or society or friendship or nation or even religion. So it appears, and it's a concept that's, it is a little difficult to grasp. It's not like it's just, we just recite all these things and just throw out all these barbs and then everybody's expected to accept it. No, it takes time, it takes consideration. It takes consciousness and it takes deliberation. It's not that we just give up religion. That's not the point. But to be attached or to be affiliated with one particular kind of religion, excluding all others, when we understand, at least we would like to think that we understand that there's only one God. So God has many different names. Even we know so many names for God is different. Europe, every single country in Europe has a different name for God, depending on the language. German, French, Dutch, or English, or Irish, or whatever. They all have different names for God. And then every religion itself will have a different name for God. Like in Sanskrit, we use Bhagavan. So that's the general term for God, but then specifically we have the name of Krishna within the concept of Bhagavan. So and this can appear at times to be confusing. And then Krishna is saying, give up all varieties of religion, just surrender unto me. Again, another seemingly contradictory concept. But Prabhupada goes on to say, as the emperor of the world, Maharaj Pariksit had to observe such regulations of the Vedic Karma Kandya section. Now, this is important. That's why when we discussed this before, Prabhupada always says, scrutinizingly study these books. Scrutinizingly. There's essence in every single word of Prabhupada's purports. So then, if we're not going to get the idea, we're not going to get the understanding, we're not going to get the Siddhanta or the conclusion simply by a cursory reading. I mean, we might. I'm speaking for myself. I can't get any kind of an idea when I just glance. This is a very complicated purport. It's full of, it's full of stuff, and it's quoting so many different acharyas and so many different authorities and so many different Mahatmas. And Prahlad Maharaj is quoted, Bhagavad Gita is quoted, Madhavendra Puri is quoted, Mahaprabhu is quoted. I mean, it's like there's a lot of stuff in here. So we can't either, be beating ourselves over the head and think, oh, I have to understand it all in one go. No. We don't. We shouldn't expect to. It's deep stuff. And it's not like we're doing a class a day, we're doing a purport a day, a shloka a day, that, because we do it, then that's it. It's over and done with and dusted, gone, end of story. No. There's so much stuff we can talk about these purports and these classes and these shlokas for months. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said that he could give a lecture on one shloka for a year without any effort. So we can't expect, that, oh, this is so complicated. Okay, it is complicated. Yes, that's fine. But then when we get into it a little bit and begin to go behind the words and look into what is Prabhupada trying to say to us, Prabhupada has simplified it. He has simplified it. And look at how much, these two verses 3 and 4, look at how much Prabhupada has extracted and put into this one purport from these 2 verses. And if you read the English, read the translation, I mean, it's cursory. It's kind of glancing over the deeper meaning. Maharaj Pariksit, he just had 7 days of association with Shukadeva Goswami. He was observing all the Karma Kandya ritualistic activities, and he was a great king, but he was still a great devotee of Lord Krishna. But still, Yad Yad Acharati Shreshtas, in order to set the example, he followed he observed the rules and regulations in order to set the example for others to follow. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, whatever the great man does, common men will follow. And we've learned so many things from the first 3 chapters of the 2nd canto that we've already covered, and certainly learned so much from the 1st canto that we covered, and so many activities and so much philosophy was there. And we're only on the 2nd canto. So there's so much. We can churn this ocean of these purports forever. And we can still get some amrit, some nectar coming out of these. We just have to be patient. We shouldn't be expecting, that we're going to cover all this in one shloka, one purport, one class, and then that's it. And I should expect that I should understand everything about it. No, we can't. It's too deep. It's very deep. There's a lot to learn. And we can go into it and we do it bit by bit by bit. When we get to the 10th canto, we can start again and start from number 1. And we can cover it again. I'll probably be, 190 years old when we reach that stage, but that's okay. We'll still be around. We'll still do it. We'll carry on. So, he could perfectly understand that Lord Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, for whom he had a natural love since his birth. We all know that story of Maharaj Parikshit, how he was saved by the Brahmastra, Krishna in the womb. He entered his mother's womb and saved him. Is everything. Thus he fixed his mind firmly on him, renouncing all modes of Vedic karma kandya activities. So here he is renouncing all modes, all modes. That's goodness, passion, and ignorance, renouncing all of them. So a devotee is in a mood of Visuddha Sattva. He goes beyond even the mode of goodness because it's pure devotional service. This aspiration is not small. This aspiration is big. What we're reaching for, we're shooting for the stars. We are shooting for the absolute truth. We're going for the big one. As Prabhupada used to quote, shoot for the rhinoceros. It's impossible. It can't be done. With a bow and arrow, how can you kill a rhino? Everybody will just, say, oh, it's impossible, it can't be done. And if you miss and you don't succeed, then everyone will say, well, it's impossible, it can't be done. But imagine you do succeed, you do hit it. Then, everyone's, wow, what an achievement. It doesn't mean we give up. So by that expression, shoot for the rhinoceros, Prabhupada was giving us the hint, this is not a small task we have set ourselves, but we have set the task. We're on the road. We're on the road to recovery. Recovery of what? Recovery of our original constitutional position and relationship to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. This perfectional stage, Prabhupada says, is attained by a jnani after many, many births. The jnanis, and now this is the important part. Of course, Krishna describes this also in Bhagavad Gita when he says, Sa Mahatma Sadurlabha. But here Prabhupada is going into the detail. What does that actually mean? The jnanis, or the empiric philosophers endeavoring for liberation, are thousands of times better than the fruitive workers. The fruitive workers are what? It's just been described. Karma kandya. Those are the fruitive workers. So now the jnani, Prabhupada is saying here, is thousands of times better than the fruitive workers. And out of the hundreds of thousands of jnanis, one is actually factually liberated. So you imagine, I mean, this is the road that we're on. This is the road we're on. And out of hundreds of thousands of such liberated persons, remember from our previous discussions, devotee is not even interested in moksha. Even moksha, devotee, as described, spits at the thought. So then what is there? Everybody's after moksha, everybody's after liberation. So Prabhupada is saying here, out of the thousands of such liberated persons, even one person is rarely found who can firmly fix his mind onto the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna as declared by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita. So now this is Sa Mahatma Sadurlabha. Look at all those stages that everybody has gone through. And the vast majority of people are at best, on the Karma Kandya platform. And then even a bigger majority than them are not even interested in God, not even interested in religion, from any aspect, even Karma Kandya, even Kanishta. So that's what, there was one road, one morning walk when there was a whole discussion. The Bhagavatam had just come out. That particular Bhagavatam had come out where Lord Brahma appeared. Brahma's the head of our Sampradaya. He appeared to fall into Maya. And one devotee was saying to Prabhupada, but Lord Brahma's the head of our Sampradaya. How could Lord Brahma be in Maya? And, he's a devotee. And Prabhupada just turned around and said, devotee is devotee. Be very careful how you think. Devotee is devotee. Devotee is not a small thing. It's not a small thing to reach the platform of devotional service. Even somebody who's endeavoring, who's starting out on the path, who joined just yesterday, 24 hours ago, and as a young bhakta or bhakteen, this person is special. These are all special, special, special people. Somebody who takes a book, Prabhupada said, somebody who simply holds a book in his hand on the street when devotees are out distributing, but somebody just holds a book, that person is special. Doesn't take the book, doesn't give a donation, he just holds the book and says, no, I don't want it, and hands it back. That person is special. So immediately the whole material cosmic manifestation and the weight of Kali Yuga and the weight of Maya is halted at that point in time. And that person's journey towards hell and the hellish reasons turned around, and now he's facing Krishna. So it's a big deal. It is a big deal. We have come to the stage where we may be in this level or that level or the other level. It's all good. As Prabhupada described, he used the example of the gulab jamun. You bite the gulab jamun on the left side, you bite the gulab jamun on the right side, you bite it on the top, you bite it on the bottom, it's all sweet. So Krishna consciousness, it's all sweet. It's all devotional. The main thing is the bhakti. The main thing to invest is we're investing our time, our energy in the service of Krishna. This is the main thing. This is what we all want. This is where we will get this love for which we are always hankering, as described by Lord Chaitanya. We won't get it any other way. It's service. And as Prabhupada is quoting here from the Shikshastika, Lord Krishna, who is the lover of many devotees, may embrace this fully surrendered maidservant, or may trample me with his feet, or he may render me broken-hearted by not being present before me for a long duration of time, but still he is nothing less than the absolute Lord of my heart. So what does this verse mean? It means no conditions. No preconceptions, no preconditions, nothing. He may embrace me, he may trample me, he may stamp on me, whatever. It's irrelevant. It's completely and totally unconditional. This is the mood of Radha, completely and totally unconditional. She didn't care. The gopis didn't care what people thought, what were the social conditions, what were the social limitations. Krishna was calling, the Brahmins were engaged in their big havan, their big yagya, and Krishna and Balaram, they asked for some just begging, something small. He said, no, we're doing a havan, we're doing a yagya. And the gopis immediately supplied. The dust from the lotus feet, this is what we're after. This is the real deal. And then there's all these quotes that Prabhupada is going through, particularly from Madhavendra Puri and Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad Maharaj is saying, religion, economic development, sense gratification are celebrated as means of attaining this path of salvation. Of these, the knowledge of the self, knowledge of fruit of action, logic, and also politics and economics are different means of livelihood. All these are different subjects of Vedic education. Therefore, I consider them as temporary engagements. Temporary engagements. These are two kings now are speaking here. So Maharaj Parikshit and Prahlad Maharaj. So they're temporary engagements. To be on this topmost level, it's all given up. Then we enter into the path of bhakti. The path of bhakti. This is the real deal. Yes, the rules and regulations and so on and so forth, they're all there for a reason. The sadhana bhakti, the practice of going through the process of all the ritualistic activities that we all do in our daily lives, that is there. But it leads to what? Or what should it lead to? It has to lead to devotion. It has to lead to the consciousness of wanting to become, without any limitation whatsoever, Gopi Bharta Kamalaya or Dasanu Dasanu Das, the servant of the servant of the servant. This is what our aspiration is. We can't forget these things. And we can't forget, no matter how far we go or how many years we may be aspiring to be devotees, we can't forget these basics. These are not even basics. These are the topmost platform. So we really have to take recognition. On the other hand, surrendering unto the Supreme Lord Vishnu is a factual gain in life, Prahlad is saying. And I consider it the ultimate truth. So this is it. So all the things we go to, building temples, doing food distribution, food for life, deity worship, whatever the case may be, distributing books, blah, 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 whatever it is, the main thing is to help us to reach the point of surrender. All these are the ways by which we achieve the goal, the means. But the goal is Krishna. The whole matter is concluded in Bhagavad Gita. So Maharaj Parikshit was perfectly right when he firmly accepted the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, renouncing all karma kandya conceptions of life. This is it. This is the deal. This is the real deal. Everything else is secondary. Prabhupada gave a lecture on this particular verse, actually, again in Los Angeles. And he said, when we hear from the right source, the natural result will be Krishna consciousness, as is described in the verse here. Krishna nubhava amrita. Shradadano mahamanaha. One who hears with attention, with faith, mahamanaha. Just like the great sages in Naimisharanya, they heard with attention. Then they asked questions. People cannot renounce, that's the problem. In modern society, everybody is entitled. Everybody is entitled. The world owes them a living. That's the mentality today. The world owes me a living, so give it to me. I own the world, and just fall at my feet. Because they're attached to this material body, anything in relationship with the body, that is the goal. That is the mentality. 99.99% of the population of the planet is in this mentality. All the media is in this mentality, all the TV stations, all the newspapers, whether it's TikTok or whether it's this or whether it's that, it's all based on the bodily concept of life. Me, aham mameti. Anything else is not even considered. In fact, if anybody thinks in any way slightly different from that objective of this aham mameti business, then they consider you to be mad. Well, Prabhupada wrote a pamphlet that he distributed in New York when the devotees were charged with brainwashing. Prabhupada wrote that pamphlet, Who is Crazy? And he described in detail how the whole world is crazy, very much attached to this material body and relationship. But the real purpose of human life is to become renounced. No material body. That's the real purpose. That's completely ignored. That's forgotten. You go to any university in the world, Harvard or Yale or Oxford, Cambridge, Sorbonne, wherever it may be, there's no department for teaching us what is the goal of life. Department of Technology, Department of this, Department of Engineering, and so on and so forth. Yes. Big scholars, big science. We all know the story of the scholar and the boatman. Prabhupada told it so many times. But finally, in the final analysis, the boatman said to the scholar, so now in the middle of this storm, do you know how to swim? Oh, no, I don't know how to swim. 100% of your life is lost. You don't know how to swim, you're going to drown. So if we don't know how to swim, we don't know how to engage in bhakti, we're going to drown. That is required. Vairagyam or renunciation. If we don't have that, we have to at least start on the path, at least in our mind. If we can't physically or emotionally, at least in our mind, begin the process of thinking, okay, I've got to at some point in time renounce this. I've got to give it up. That doesn't mean to be callous or indifferent. Because if we want a material body, we'll get it. Life after life. It's guaranteed. It's absolutely guaranteed. This will continue as long as we are overpowered by material thought. Guaranteed. Fruit of activities. I shall work very hard. I shall get so much wealth. I shall go to church. I'll ask God for this. I'll ask God for that. God will supply. And if God gives me millions of dollars, then I'm happy. I'm ready to go and bow down and worship at his lotus feet. As long as there's something in it for me. This is not the way. And all the religions, they go there. Listen, Prabhupada used to give the example in the war, the English ladies praying for their husbands and their son and their father and their brother to come home from the war safely. And the German ladies, they were praying for their father and their son and their brother and their husband to come home safely. And they're all praying to the same God. They're all Christians. They're all Mzungu. They're all white. They're all European. So Prabhupada used to say, so God is confused? So God should be confused? And this is because this is a material aspirations. No, nobody's praying for bhakti. Nobody's praying for service. What did they worship? They worship their dog. They worship their cat. This is their focus because it has to be replaced. They worship their country. But still, it has to end. What is the use of that? Real purpose of life for the vast majority of the population is sense gratification. If I take to religious principles, then I'll get more money without any hard work. This is it. I mean, we know the cases. We've seen them all the time. And it's nothing to do with the religion. All the religions are the same. The big pastor in his mega church with his helicopters and his jets and so on and so forth. And they're all over there, and they have these huge, televangelists, they call them. And big famous sadhus, who are, just living off whatever donations they get. Multimillionaires, their own private jets and everything. This is it. This is the goal. And then everybody's running and aspiring towards, I want to have a piece of the action also. This is it for me. If I get more money, then I'll be able to satisfy my senses. It's all based on sense gratification in the name of religion. And then we go to the stage of moksha, liberation. People are not interested in liberation. They want to be religion for material benefit. Ultimately, that's it. That's not the real purpose of life. Everybody goes to God and he wants something. Oh, please help me pass my exams, help me cure my cancer, help me do this, help me do that, help me do the other. And Jesus in the Bible, he healed so many people who were suffering, but ultimately he said, you have to surrender. You have to surrender. Material benefit, you cannot get caught up in this whole material concept. Because whatever we're guaranteed is already there. Whatever is coming in our life is already there. Probably gives the example, one man, he's working hard day and night. He hardly gets enough for 2 chapatis. A little bit of sabji at the end of the day to eat, enough to hold body and soul together. And another man, he goes to the office, probably gives this example. He goes to the office, he works for an hour, he makes one phone call, he makes $100,000. Oh, you buy this stock here, sell this bond there, do this, do that, 100,000, in an hour. So who's winning? So it's all based on what on earth we are entitled to. So automatically, just like Prabhupada gives the example again, the people in America, you've got an American body, you're more advanced materially. This is at the time of Prabhupada in the 60s and 70s. America was more advanced than India, so Prabhupada is making the comparison. You have better facilities than in India, you're more comfortable than other countries. You've no scarcity, enough production is there, everything is there. So according to the body, you're getting the comforts of life. But then how do you end up? You end up as hippie, living like animal. So the karma may be there to give you a better facility and a higher elevated status in life, but if you just end up living like a hippie, living on the street and taking drugs, and what is the use? And probably is the example, just like in Greenland, it's filled up with ice. They can't get any nice food. That's their karma. Still, they live there, and they want to live there, and they'll fight, and they'll go to the death to stay to live there. This is Maya. They will not think, oh, here is a really bad place to live. Here's like impossible kind of situation. Ice, 11 and a half months in the year, living below freezing. No, they won't think, oh, let me go away from here. Let me find another life. No, he'll not go. Prabhupada says he'll stay. Because this is Maya. This is the attachment. Our birthplace, Prabhupada says, even it is hell, it is better than heaven. That is Maya. Just like a hog. Hog is living on a most abominable condition. Stool, filthy water, but still he's thinking, oh, he's in heaven. And the perfect example is given of Indra, who was cursed to take the body of a pig. And then Brahma took pity on him and came to him and said, listen, Indra, you got to give up this nonsense. You're in the body of a pig. Listen, forget about it. We'll eliminate the curse. Just come back to heaven and rule in your kingdom. The king of heaven. What did Indra say? No, I have Mrs. Pig. I have to take care of Mrs. Pig, and I have to take care of the piglets, and I have so many responsibilities. Wow. Brahma was shocked. It's the king of heaven. So far as material comforts are concerned, you cannot get more or less than you are designated. There was one Pharisee. He challenged Jesus. So Jesus, should we pay tax? Should we pay tax to Caesar? He was challenging him because if he said no, then he'd be in trouble. Then the soldiers would arrest him. He's a rebel. And then Jesus said, you give to Caesar what is Caesar's. So, it's like it's there in all the religions. All the great preachers have preached these things. But we forget. And we go through lifetime after lifetime. And then we get a glimpse, a tiny little glimpse on occasion, and then... So Prahlad Maharaj, he said, so far as material comfort is concerned, you're destined to get it. Your allotment is already there. Sense pleasure means material bodily pleasure. Hands, legs, senses, eyes, ears, working senses, so on and so forth. They all constitute the whole body. So the bodily comfort means the sense gratification, dharma, artha, kama. This is it. It all has to be given up. When you're ready for death, there's no more trivargayam. This is human civilization. It's not human civilization in one sense, because there's the question of dharma. But even dharma, Krishna says, give up dharma. Krishna doesn't say that we should give up bhakti. No, give up dharma. So Prabhupada describes it in this verse. Not exactly in the same way, dharma, we understand it in an English way. Generally, people understand, I have my own dharma. I am Hindu, I'm Christian, I'm Muslim, this, that, or the other. But in Sanskrit language, dharma does not mean like that kind of faith. No, faith is blind. Today you are Hindu, tomorrow you're Christian, today you are Christian or Buddhist or Jew. This faith changing, that is not dharma. Like on one external point of view, you could say, I changed from being a Catholic to being a Hindu. People that don't know, it's my family particularly, say, oh, now you're a Hindu. Dharma means which you cannot change. That is Dharma. You cannot change it. It's intrinsic. It's a part of you. It cannot be changed even life after life after life. Not that whimsically we can change. Dharma is service. That is Dharma, service. What is Srimati Radharani's greatest qualification? She is the best servant of Krishna. That's why she's in the position that she is in. And all those who are assisting her in her service, they just aspire to render service to her, even in the minutest way. Picking flowers to give to Radha, who makes the garland to give to Krishna. If they get the opportunity to even enter the groves of Vrindavan to assist Radharani, they're queuing up. It's my turn, it's my turn, it's my turn. Everybody's pushing to serve for the ultimate cause. But most of us, we're rendering service to society, family, and at least at the worst point, to the dog or the cat. I see them, I've told you before, I see them every day on my walk, serving their dog. And I know all these people, and they're so nice, they're lovely people. And they greet, and I greet them, and so on and so forth. But wow, it's just, we want to give service to the Supreme, but we have forgotten. That's the problem. We have forgotten. So our service attitude now is distributed in so many ways because we've forgotten where the real service lies. God is never servant. God is enjoyer. Bhaktaram yagitapasyam sarvalokam maheshwaram, Krishna says. The sages, knowing me as the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material existence. Just like we see, we've got here Krishna. We have Murti. We have the deity in the temple. He's not serving. He is being served. He is enjoying. That is God. He's always serving. He's always the king. He's always the master. Everyone should be engaged for his service. The only enjoyer, the only master is Krishna. And all others, they are servants. There's gradation of service. Certainly, in society, in order for society to function, there's gradation. That is normal. It's like we had kings, so previously there was king, today we have president or prime minister, whatever the case may be. Somebody is serving as president, somebody is serving as policeman, somebody is serving as guard, somebody is serving as cleaner, somebody is serving as street sweeper, somebody is serving as this, that, or the other, whatever the case may be. But everybody is serving. This is the central point. And to understand that the master is Krishna. He is the repository of all our service attitude. So when it was fixed up as in the goal of life, I'm rendering service, that's a fact. But I'm not satisfied. Why are you not satisfied? Because I'm rendering so much service. Prabhupada gives the example, just like in our country, he's talking of India, of course, just like in our country, Mahatma Gandhi, he rendered so much service to his country. But at the end, he was killed by his countrymen to whom he had rendered so much service. This is the return you get, killed in your own country. President Kennedy, Prabhupada gives the example. Very good president. Still, he was killed. He was serving. Service is going on, but the master and the servant both are not satisfied. The owner of the big factory, the person working in the factory, the peon, neither of them are satisfied because the repose of their service attitude is in the wrong place. The person working on the shop floor, he wants his salary at the end of the month. The big boss, he wants his profit. And where is Krishna in all of this? He's completely forgotten. You do exactly the same thing. Work on the shop floor, work in the factory, own businesses all over the world, whatever you are, big multi-billionaire, whatever the case may be, that's fine. But do it for Krishna. Do the same thing, but it's dovetailed in service of the Lord. But there's another platform, a spiritual world, where services render both the master and the servant become satisfied immediately. Tasmin tuste jagat tushta. When Lord Vishnu is satisfied, all the demigods who are parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, they are also satisfied. Just like Prabhupada gives the example again, it sounds very mundane to be repeating these things, but we're a little dense. We need to hear them over. It probably gives the example: you put the food in the stomach, the whole body is nourished. There's no need for the finger to enjoy separately from this, that, and the other. The whole body is nourished. So then, what is the point? What is the point? I mean, are we banging our heads off a wall? It's a very, very basic point, and it's there in every single purport of Prabhupada's books. It may be explained in a different way. Prabhupada's using different examples and using the examples of great personalities whom he's quoting from. Prabhupada, all these acharyas quotes on the tip of his fingers. I was reading from Shamasundar today, and he was with Prabhupada in San Francisco. While Prabhupada was translating, Shamasundar was just sitting in the room chanting his round quietly in the corner, and he said Prabhupada was just dictating into the dictaphone without even having to pick up a book to look up these different acharyas. He just had it straight off the top of his head. Straight. So here in this verse, Vasudevi Bhagavati Atma Bhavam Dhritam Gataha, the son of Vasudeva, Krishna. You see the way it's explained. When you want to know who is somebody, you say, who is your father? So here, there's no question of any doubt who the verse is talking about. Always we're talking about Krishna. So when people claim, he's not really talking about God, it's not really talking about Bhagavan. No, it goes into detail, but we miss it. These small little details, they just pass us by and we miss it. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you give your father's name, then you know exactly it applies to this person, nobody else, this particular man. There are many expansions of God. And in every case, Krishna, Ram, whatever the case may be, we always describe the parents, the associates, the people, the entourage. So then there's no doubt. But here is mentioned Vasudev. Krishna's name is Vasudev. Vasudev Bhagavati Atma Bhavam Dhridam Gataha. We're trying to enjoy life by making friends. Atma Bhavam. Atma Bhavam means very intimate, near relative or beloved. So we have to change the consciousness. That's all. Instead of trying to make it in this material world the beloved, simply have to take Krishna as beloved. That's all. That is Krishna consciousness. Everything is there. Everything is there. Whoever we meet, whoever we talk to, we just talk to them about Krishna. That's all. So, Maharaj Parikshit, he gave up all his society, family. In the previous verse you learned yesterday, all his animals, elephants, horses, everything. He just gave it up. Fasted for 7 days, heard Srimad Bhagavatam, already a devotee, bang, straight back to Godhead. No question. Jai. Wow. Time up, time up, time up. Where does the hour go? I've no idea. Anyway, here we are. just a few minutes remaining. If there are any questions or comments, thank you very much for listening. Thank you for your patience. Much appreciated. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Haribol.
Hare Krishna, are there any questions or comments? I think it was an excellent class, Prabhuji, today.
Thank you very much.
And like Maharaj Parikshit, I think we are all living in the karma kandi, but only thing is he was a devotee and he knew that this is all mithya, and I know my true dharma, but we are just staying there and enjoying it and feel that we are privileged and don't wake up. So it's an important lesson learned today.
But we're getting there because
Yeah.
we're getting there because we're reminding ourselves because we want to. We want to learn. We want to understand. Why do we have these classes every day? Because we want to, because we have that desire. Krishna will fulfill those desires. Just like if we have a material desire, it will be fulfilled. But if we have a spiritual desire, it will be fulfilled even more. So we have this desire, we want to learn. We just like me, when I get the notice from you that we're going to be doing this verse, immediately I open it up, I look it up, I say, wow, how could I not see that before? We're all learning every day. It's wonderful. It's got me back into the Bhagavatam since I started giving these classes that I had neglected for such a long time. It's so nice to be able to connect with this. Just like we plug into the electricity, any device, it won't work without the power. The power is in Prabhupada's books. That's the real deal. We may be struggling, we may be neophyte, we may be this, that, or the other, but we're going in the right direction. That's the main thing. It's so nice. It's so nice. It's so encouraging. The fact that these classes are going on, doesn't matter how many people are tuning in or joining us. You know, it's good for us individually and collectively. But for me individually, it's ideal. It's absolutely brilliant that these classes are going on. I feel privileged that I'm able to participate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your humility, Prabhuji. I even like the example of Mahatma Gandhi where he was serving. I mean, we are all servants, but he was serving the wrong person probably, or the wrong people, and he got killed. So
Yeah.
he had put his energies into serving Krishna probably.
Yeah.
So I think we should end. We are almost there. Prasanatma Prabhu, are you able to unmute and end the session today? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranams, Prabhu. All glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Insisting always and every time on how we should improve our sadhana and just to be interested in devotional service and try to do more bhakti. Thank you so much for the wonderful, the inspiring words, Prabhu. I'd request the devotees to please unmute and chant the Hare Krishna mantra in glorification of His Grace Vidura Prabhu for the enlightenment class. Please join. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare. Vanchakalpa Trubhasta, Kripa Sindhavebhita, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Hari Hari Bol.
Hare.
Thank you very much.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Hari Hari Bol.
Grace Vidura Prabhuji ki
Jai.
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 Good night, everybody. Thank you. Hari Bol.
Hare
Thank you,
Bol.
All glories
Prabhuji.
to Prabhupada.
Haribol.
Hari Bol.